So there's been so much talk with both Aaron Glenn leaving, Ben Johnson leaving, Antoine Randall. They're going to lose a couple of other coaches. The coaching world, when you have two choices as a franchise, you either build an organization and build a team of players and coaches that other people want, or you build an organization of players and coaches that nobody wants, and you end up not wanting them, and you move on from them. So if you're building, this is very, I think, logical. And hit me up with a comment if you disagree. If you are not hiring people that are desirable to other people, then you're not succeeding. The idea is to bring in the best people around you. And if you're good enough to bring the best people around you, then you certainly have the ability to help foster an environment to where you're building depth at the staff and personnel level, coaching personnel level, the same as you are the on the field talent. And the Lions are the greatest example, maybe in the history of the NFL, to have built a roster with the framework to be able to go 15-2 when you're on your second and third tier player almost across the entire side of the ball on defense. It's insane what they've done. So this notion, people blow me up because they think, they know that I'm a Lions fan and I speak boldly about it. And they're like, so you lost both your coordinators, you flamed out in the playoffs, you ain't going anywhere. I couldn't disagree more. It starts up at the top again, and the opposite of what Jerry Jones is doing, the opposite of what the Bears have done for so long. You want to look at a model franchise that always gets it right? Look at the Green Bay Packers. Over and over and over and over, they do it. The concept, the philosophy, it's all there. Publicly owned company too. Isn't that amazing? And now the Lions finally have it figured out, from ownership to all of the GM level and all of his colleagues, down through Dan Campbell, down through the video game coordinator. So when you lose somebody like Ben Johnson, and they were prepared for this, let's not forget, they knew he was flirting. They knew he was going to be gone. They knew Aaron Glenn was going to be gone. They know that they have other coaches on their staff that are desirable. They're planning for this. So if anybody's ever watched a draft room, you see all the slots. Your left guard, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or when you're getting set for a mock, getting set for a draft, and you're looking at a mock, you have all your desirable candidates at the position down. If he's here, he's our number 1. If he's here, he's our number 2, and so on. You're doing the same thing with your coaching staff. So I'm not sure where this comes from that they're finished because some coaches left. Probably just they've beaten their chest and they feel so proud that they got Ben Johnson, because usually nobody of significance wants to go there. And so that happens. So prepared for this moment, and I put this together, and this is stunning. When you actually put it on a screen and you look at this, Lions fans, hear me. NFL, hear me. The entire league, hear what I'm about to tell you. Ready for this? What is this? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players. Terry and Arnold, 21 years old. Jahmyr Gibbs, 22 years old. Brian Branch, 23. J-Mo, 23. Hutch, 24. Jack Campbell, 24. Kirby Joseph, 24. Sam Laporta, 24. Penei Sewell, 24. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 25. Derek Montgomery, 27. Frank Ragnow, 28. And here's when you know you really got something. You drafted Christian Mahogany in the 6th round, the 210th pick. Hey, Michigan fans, that sound familiar to you? That's almost the exact position that Tom Brady was drafted. So round 6, 210th pick, left guard Christian Mahogany is going to be a starter for the next 10 years for you, barring any kind of injury setback. He was a rookie this year. So you are loaded loaded. And that's a mixture. That's offensive side of the ball and defensive side of the ball. And you have some veterans sprinkled around there. You have obviously another draft coming up. I believe they are about the 10th oldest, 10th youngest team, 10th or 12th, somewhere right in there. They're set, guys. And it's going to lead me to my next comment. Some guy hit me up this morning telling me the following. And this was with regard to Michael Fabiano's comment about being a Cowboy fan. He said, after I mentioned that there's a long line of coaches that want to come to Detroit, it's a desirable place to come on every level. Okay, so here's his comment or his response. There's a long line in that it's an NFL job for a huge sum of money. And this is a direct quote that a lot of people working in football would accept. But Detroit isn't exactly a desirable location or any kind of prestige job. They won a lot of games, then got destroyed in the playoffs. They might as well be the Minnesota Vikings. I told you I'd give you a shout out. I couldn't disagree more. It is probably a top 5 most desirable place to go from a football perspective. It's an organization that people want to be with. That's not my opinion. That's fact. Most have come out and said it. There's players on other teams that have said it. Don't be shocked at all if they acquire Max Crosby sometime this offseason. It would not shock me at all. Brady and the brass over in Washington would be smart to do that. Try to acquire a couple of number 1 picks since you are rebuilding. The Lions are prepped and built to win right now. Yes, Lions fans, NFL, Bears fans, Packers fans, Vikings fans, any fan in the NFL, the Lions are prepared to win right now. It's been a 4-year run. They're going to enter their 5th year, and they will be back. Imagine that roster, Ben Johnson or not, Aaron Glenn or not, that roster healthy. It's just what we saw is something you don't ever see. Every team has injuries, and there's a lot of teams that have a lot of injuries. But to basically see your entire roster get wiped out, and somebody that's filling other spots like an Amik Robinson is prepared to shine for you in the second play of the first defensive series against Washington, dude basically breaks his arm. It's insane what they've done. Brad Holmes had a presser the other day. I didn't listen to it, but I saw some of the caption that said, to be 15-2 in this league in the way that we were injured, we're pretty proud of that. Normally, that type of comment to me is a cop-out. It's a cover. It's a shield for what the real truth is. Not to me. And I don't think to anybody who's watching who can put the comment and the sense together of these two is spectacular what the Lions did. You remove the emotion of it. You take a step back. It stings. It's all of those things. When you review back, this is not like the old Lions where you go 9-7 and you go get in the 16-game seasons and you go get blown out on the road to Seattle 26-6 or something. You shouldn't have even ever been in that. You were whatever. You were 1-5, 1-6, and then, oh my gosh, we won 6 of the last whatever games and we backdoored our way into the playoffs and you go get waxed. That's not what we're talking about here. Yes, they got a bye. Yes, they lost pretty handily. Yes, they got outperformed. Yes, they had massive turnovers. Yes, Jared Goff didn't look well. Yes, to all of those things. That doesn't represent the full product. That doesn't represent the organization. That represents running out of gas. There's only so much you can do in those moments. And when all the cards are down or all the cards are stacked, however you want to say it, everyone's forcing. And Goff was forcing in that game. He's trying to be something he's not. He's trying to pick up the slack for the deficiencies. You know you have to outscore Washington because you can't stop them. So you're forcing throws that you wouldn't ordinarily make if you knew that you had a defense that was healthy enough to hold its own and keep you in the game. It was clear that no one was going to stop Jaden Daniels. I personally don't think it's going to happen tomorrow either. We'll get to that in a minute. But enough of the nonsense. The Lions is one of the most desirable and attractive places now in the NFL. And historically, I think you're going to see it play out, that it's going to be one of the most and the longest standing places that people want to go. You will see free agents line up, coaches line up. You will see sponsors line up. You will see it's already happened. You will see every part of it. The Lions will be back. My prediction when Dan Campbell got hired, after he said, not the kneecaps comment, but after he said to a reporter that said, "What are your thoughts about the SOL Lions, the same old Lions?" For those of you who don't know, and he said, "I don't want to hear that shit around here anymore." This is before even one game. When that happened, I knew something was different, and I knew he had the attitude, and he had the moxie, and he had great tutelage under Sean Payton, and I could see with Brad Holmes. I followed his career as a general manager under Les Snead and the Aaron Donald and the Jared Goff and the Michael Brockers. So many people that he was instrumental in as being the director of scouting, and you put that together, and it was like, bing, there was this light, this epiphany. I wasn't a fan of a first-time head coach at the time, much like the Bears situation. But after I listened to him a little bit and I listened to his vision, I listened to his philosophy, and I had already known a lot about Brad Holmes, and I listened to what Brad wanted to do with the Lions. You put it all together, I said that they would be in the Super Bowl within 5 years. They just completed 4. So as far as my prediction, next year is the limit. And I think it's going to work out perfect. And I think you will see them in the Super Bowl next year. I feel that strongly. I don't say that as a fan. I say that as somebody that really studies the game and now talks about it as part of my life. So the Lions are in great shape, regardless of both coordinators leaving and any other supplemental staff like Antoine Randall. They will be fine.